I'm Sergeant Mitchell with the U.S. Army Medical Department Recruiting. I am your healthcare recruiter. We're going to discuss the 72 Delta Environmental Science and Engineering Officer, also known as the ESEOs. 72 Delta ESEOs, professional review process and academic degree requirements for active duty, Army Reserve, and National Guard. Now this stuff is coming from September 2016. Just a reminder, stay posted, stay updated on these videos because things change all the time in USAREC. So the 72 Delta ESEO's professional review process, the consultant of the Surgeon General for Environmental Science and Engineering on the deputy consultant will review direct accession candidate packets submitted from the U.S. Army Recruiting Command, the USAREC, for active duty and U.S. Army Reserve, and packets submitted for the National Guard Bureau, using the regulations information that will be discussed in these videos. This also includes review for any branch and AOC transfer identified by the U.S. Army Human Resources Command Assignments Officer. Although these types of transfers are not typical since they bypass the direct commissioning process. Now note, for 2016 active duty regular Army only, the USAREC board will take place in fall 2016. Just added note, this is, we're slowly moving into the winter, so just know that the boards usually take place in the fall. All right, and we'll have a limited number of direct accessions requirement available for the 72 Delta ESEO career fields that include 72 Delta Environmental Science and 72 Delta November 4, and that's the Environmental Engineering. All right, so the skill identifier, when I say November 4, puts you as an engineer. The 72 Delta is just environmental science. That's an added note. Keep that in the mental Rolodex. It's important for candidates currently serving as the 72 Delta ESEOs, providing mentorship and AMED healthcare recruiters to understand that becoming an active duty 72 Delta ESO is highly competitive. Just like all AOCs within the Army Medical Department, they're all competitive. So I keep stressing it. Make sure that you are able to compete. Come ready. I put all this information out. Make sure you're collecting the appropriate documents. A large number of candidates will be reviewed for annual board, and only a limited number of those will be selected to become a 72 Delta ESEO. Therefore, it is important that the candidate, that you have at a minimum a qualifying bachelor's degree listed in the regulations, the 3 of the regulations that I mentioned in the previous videos. So if you are not familiar, please go back and watch those videos. Therefore, it is important that a candidate have at a minimum, I know I repeat it, bachelor's degree. That is the qualifying degree. A graduate degree that would be considered applicable, qualified for 72 Delta ESEO career field, meet the consultant team GPA requirements, and have a good mix of relevant advanced science or advanced engineering coursework. Candidates will also be reviewed in other areas discussed below or a little bit later on in this video for the professional renewal process. This document and the regulations that we'll go over applies to active duty, U.S. Army Reserve, and National Guard candidates seeking to become a 72 Delta ESEO to include branch transfer reviews. Now note, only the DA PAMs apply to branch transfer reviews, okay? So if you were to do your research, know that the DA PAMs only apply to, or they apply to the branch transfer reviews. So the 72 Delta ESEO consultant team has established a professional evaluation criteria checklist. One of the 72 Deltas and one of the 72 Delta November 4, that's the skill identifier, and to evaluate each candidate's bachelor's degree earned. At minimum, I keep on saying it, bachelor's degree must be present in a concentration listed. All right, and the paperwork that your recruiter gives to you, and also what I have discussed in a previous video. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you go back and watch that video. And that minimum, I hate saying the minimum, but it's a 3.0, but always strive for 4.0, because these individuals are coming ready to compete. So many of them have well over a 3.0. Make sure you're able to compete. The average GPA, applicable advanced science engineering coursework. Additionally, any relevant civilian or military public health engineering experience, any relevant training and credentials will be considered. Now, copies of relevant credentials, trainings listed on the resume must be present in the packet for review. When a candidate is professionally reviewed, they will be assigned a qualification rating in one of the 5 areas below based on the number of points received on the 72 Delta ESEO checklist. This is a whole record review, and details for the review will be documented in a comment section on the electronic form for USAREC and National Guard candidates, or in an email message. All right, that message to the 72 Delta ESEO assignment officer, the U.S. Army Human Resources Command, for those branch transfer reviews. Now, the ratings are best qualified, fully qualified, qualified, marginally qualified, not processed to go to the board. You don't want that one. I need you to be fully qualified, best qualified, qualified. You don't even want marginally qualified. All right? That's horrible. So if a candidate is marginally qualified or not qualified, details to the rating will be explained in the remarks section on the electronic memorandum, so your recruiter will know that outcome. You don't want to be marginally qualified. You don't want that. Unqualified degree, unqualified GPA, etc. The electronic memorandum for those candidates that are rated marginally qualified and above are part of the active duty and U.S. Army Reserve USAREC board, as well as part of the National Guard Bureau board file. So members of the board can read the consultant's comments from the professional review process, which will detail qualifying degree type, accumulative GPA, advanced science GPA, relative public health experience, any relevant credentials or training, and recommendations for relevant coursework experience. Now, the most important criterion in the professional review process is a candidate with the appropriate at minimum bachelor's degree based on the 3 regulations that I mentioned earlier, and a strong background in advanced science engineering coursework. There is no graduate degree entry requirement listed in the current regulation. So just mind you, the qualifying degree is that bachelor's degree. Relevant advanced science coursework, the 72 Delta, or advanced engineering coursework, the 72 Delta November 4. For consideration is as follows. Now, for the 72 Delta, relevant advanced coursework requires that a 72 Delta MOS is 30 semester hours of biological, chemistry, mathematics, environmental science, earth science, or etc. A good mix of coursework is required for consideration and with an emphasis of upper level science and mathematics to be present in the coursework. Otherwise, the weighting for the coursework will be rated lower. Coursework includes botanical courses, microbiological courses, biology